Hello, my name is Nancy Trueblood. As a director of the Solo Small Firm and General Practice section, it is my honor to introduce this year's Lederer Award recipient. The selection committee agreed unanimously that attorney David J. Carlson of the law offices of Carlson and Lund, SC in Waukesha, more than meets the criteria for this award. Dave earned a Bachelor of Science from the University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee in 1974. He joined the City of Muskego Police Force that same year. He served as a police officer until 1978 and earned his Juris Doctorate from Marquette University Law School in 1979. As an attorney, Dave has focused on estate planning and probate. He has often been appointed by courts to handle complex estate administration. He is a past president of the Waukesha County Bar's Probate and Estate Planning section. He received Milwaukee Magazine's 5-Star Wealth Manager Award in 2010 because his peers placed him in the top 5% of estate planning attorneys in the region. Also, the American Institute of Legal Counsel named him one of the 10 best estate planning attorneys in all of Wisconsin in 2018. But beyond his service to his clients in southeastern Wisconsin, Dave is being recognized today for his dedication to helping fellow attorneys master the intricacies of estate planning and probate in Wisconsin. In fact, his letter of nomination was signed by no fewer than 5 attorneys. That is a record since this award was created 10 years ago. The nomination notes that after graduating from law school, he was determined to open his own law firm. And despite the challenges, Dave, quote, has enjoyed it and has excelled in this environment, the nomination tells us. Dave is especially well known for being willing to share his 40 years of wisdom and experience as a solo small firm practitioner. His active participation in the Lawyer to Lawyer directory is just one example of his outreach. His consistent mentoring of new attorneys is another. He often invites new attorneys to meet with him for several hours and is even willing to share his sample drafts of documents with them. He takes the further step to encourage them to call him with questions to bounce ideas off him as they work on their own documents. I'd like you to hear now from his partner, Sally Lund.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to nominate Dave for this award. When a number of us read the description of the award and the focus on it, Dave's came to mind immediately. Through the years I've known him, 25 plus, probably going on 30, Dave's always been willing to share his knowledge and help others get acclimated to the practice of estate planning and probate. He's always been willing to answer questions. He loves talking on the phone with people, helping them explain different situations and intricate legal procedures. Just an open door always to help nurture the new attorney and the older attorney with a new issue or prospect of a client or legal matter. And so it's my pleasure to present this award to him on behalf of the group of us who nominated him and the many attorneys he has helped mentor and help them grow in their practice. So Dave, it's my pleasure to present you with the Lederer Award.
Well, thank you so much, Sally.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
On camera.
Thank you, Dave.
And it reads, in deep appreciation of his efforts to educate and support solo and small firm attorneys. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you very much, Sally. Sally Lundy has been with me for the last 3 years, and I can tell you that I am not unique in my efforts to reach out to other attorneys. Since she walked in the office 3 years ago, Sally has been answering daily phone calls from other registrars in probate and from other attorneys around the state. So it's through this outreach that we're all able to help each other. I just want to tell you as an aside, when receiving this award, Nancy was kind enough to read some of the other awards. And my wife, who we've been married for decades now, and one of the reasons we stayed married so long is because she allows me to pursue my dreams, and yet she knows how to hold my feet on the ground. And other awards, she'll say, it's because you've been around a long time. and you haven't gotten into too much trouble that you get. This one, she knew right away was special. And I have to tell you honestly, Nancy and group who nominated me, this is, after 40 years of law practice, this is the culmination of my career. It recognizes that I've helped other attorneys rather than just helping our clients. So if I may share with you a little bit, I started practicing in Waukesha about 40 years ago, and there were only 200 of us here at the time. About 200 in the active bar, and that included the judges and attorneys and public sector attorneys that were working here. And so to come out and hang a shingle at the time was, I guess, in hindsight, a little bit risky, but right away, right after I started practicing, I had visits from Harry Rummel, from Mike Schober, from attorneys all over the county who would just stop in for a cup of coffee or who would give me a call and say, how are things going? I didn't realize then what they were doing and how important those contacts were until a couple years later when I saw other young lawyers moving out here to Waukesha County. Then I realized how dependent I was on those early lessons I had learned from those wonderful other attorneys. I realized quickly how invaluable it was, the lessons that I had learned from those attorneys. And I decided at that time to become intentional in my efforts to help younger lawyers. So as Sally and Nancy have pointed out, I did reach out to other attorneys, and I made a point of trying to connect with young lawyers. And eventually, when I thought I had something to offer, I signed up for the Lawyer to Lawyer, which I would recommend to all of you, especially young lawyers. It's an invaluable resource. Many of us volunteer many hours throughout the year to do this. As I progressed in my career, I had the pleasure of working with some really good attorneys, not the least of which is Sally, but P. Ploshines, Matt Hupperts, Mike Finn, and some younger attorneys, Mike Kaiser out of Heartland and Keith Glazer out of Muskego, young lawyers who have worked with me and who I've helped maybe from time to time, but now they're reaching out to other attorneys and offering their assistance to them. Especially in this time of pandemic, I think it's especially important that we continue trying to reach out to each other. This is a difficult time for all of us. I'm blessed to have Sally here with me and a wonderful staff that I rely on a lot. In fact, I mentioned to Nancy that when I read the criteria for the award, it involved technology and making technological advances in the profession. And I have little experience with technology. I'm probably the least, but I have taken my role as a mentor seriously and have tried to reach out to other attorneys. And I would suggest that during this time of pandemic, we continue to reach out to each other, to connect with each other, and to pay it forward. If I can share a story with you, 40 years ago, we were blessed in Waukesha County here to have a wonderful bench. We had some tremendous judges. I think we in Wisconsin would all agree that we've been blessed with a wonderful bench statewide. We have some wonderful judges in this state, and perhaps the one that was the most important in my life was Neil Nettesheim. He was perhaps the finest jurist that I ever appeared in front of. And early on in my career, I had a trial in front of him. And I don't even remember what the trial was about now, but I remember what happened afterwards. Neil called me off to the side after the trial, and he said, "Dave, you did the finest job of cross-examination I've ever seen a lawyer do." That had me floating for 10 years. That one comment from the judge who I so looked up to, that one comment kept me going. Well, fast forward 15 years later, and I'm telling that story over a beer with some of the guys, and they all smiled. Well, Neil Nettesheim had told them the same thing. What he was doing was planting seeds with us. He was paying it forward. So I would encourage all of us, like Judge Nettesheim, plant seeds with each other, pay it forward, help each other out, be committed to the profession, be grateful that we're able to practice in this wonderful profession and give back to the community. And I'm so grateful to all those who nominated me for this, and especially to the section, to the solo and small firm section. So thank you again.
Thank you, Dave. We really do appreciate and want, that is the purpose of the award, is to honor people like yourself who give back to the profession and are helping to bolster our solo and small firm community across Wisconsin. I know the entire section board, as well as everyone attending the conference, congratulates you on being this year's recipient of the John Lederer Service Award. Thank you
so much, Nancy. Thank you.